All right, welcome back, boys. Welcome back. I've got a whole plethora of new excuses. I spent 3 weeks trekking in the high altitude Himalayas to reach a glacial lake largely untouched by man. And then I went to go check out Japan, where all the anime lives. So that was a lot of fun, but it did prevent me from playing too much of the Ultimate Iron Man on the classic game of old school RuneScape. Nevertheless, like with some of my past periods where I haven't been able to actively play the game or record anything too interesting, I was still able to keep racking up some of the passive XP gains in the background. You will see I've been doing a lot of AFK combat training where I'll just let my guy stand at ammonite crabs for 10 minutes at a time, and strength level is getting up there, especially now that I've got the dragon scimitar. So why are we here? And where is here, first of all? So this is the Lizardman chamber, where most people will come here only ever because they want to fight the shamans, because they have a chance of dropping the Dragon Warhammer, which up until the Eldermaw was recently buffed, was one of the best melee spec weapons for a whole bunch of different content. And in classic RuneScape fashion, the way you got this very crucial piece that unlocks all kinds of high level PVM is you kill these annoying mid-level NPCs on a Slayer task, usually. But that's not why I'm here. Even if I had a Dragon Warhammer, I'm not quite sure what I'd use it for. I have been collecting these things. Well, first of all, I'm training thieving. Let's start at the beginning, because there's a lot of different moving parts to this high-level big brain strategy that I'm currently involved in. So I still have all of these blood runes, you see there, and I want to be able to use ancients. I have completed Desert Treasure, but getting out over to the altar area to spellbook swap is slow and tedious. So what I really want is to have the altar in my player own house, the same way that I can instantly change to Luna's. However, to do that, you need the Pharaoh's Scepter. And to effectively get the Pharaoh's Scepter, you need 91 Thieving, which I now have, but I didn't have when I started this grind. I got it doing this grind. So I wanted to train my Thieving level so I could go train and do Pyramid Plunder to get the Pharaoh's Scepter, which I could then use to build the occult altar in my player-owned house, allowing me to freely switch between spellbooks. I also want to train up farming and herb lore, or continue training, because you can see they're both getting... Farming especially is looking pretty juicy. They've got that new mini game that's on the horizon as well, herb lore tot, or whatever it's called. I don't know the details, but apparently it's gonna change the herb lore meta and make secondary gathering maybe less of a pain, which herb lore has for a long time been regarded as the Iron Man bottleneck, especially for an Ultimate Iron Man. We'll see if that changes. Anyway, I wanted to get, and that's relevant because the best way to get seeds is, the best way to get herbs is to grow them, and the best way to get seeds is to pickpocket master farmers. And to effectively pickpocket master farmers, you want to be able to rob them without failing, which needs like a 94 thieving or something like that. So there's a couple different reasons I want to train thieving. And I've been doing it in a variety of different ways. There's a new method. It's in the brand new area, the expansion, the Kingdom of Valamore, where you're pickpocketing wealthy citizens and then robbing houses. I really like it because it is very AFK and that suits my playstyle. The money is pretty whatever, but for how AFK it is, you really can't complain. I think people who don't want to play AFK are a bit dismissive of it because the GP and XP are both a lot worse than blackjacking. But if you just want to kind of passively only look at the screen once every few seconds, then it's a lot less intensive than blackjacking, which fits my playstyle. And it is also kind of good for what I'm doing with the account. You will see that I've been stacking up clue scrolls, and when you're getting the keys as part of when you're pickpocketing the wealthy citizens to get the keys, there's a pretty high chance of getting easy clues. So I am here locking the stone chest in the Lizardman Temple area, in part to get these Lizardman Fangs, which they're pretty worthless. I think they cost almost nothing on the Grand Exchange. Yeah, 36 each, because if you're actually a normal player who's playing the game for fun or playing the game with friends and you're doing Chambers of Xeric, I think it's a pretty common drop. Well, to the point where it's almost like a joke drop. Like, people don't want them. You just get them anyway as junk in the loot chest. Or these guys drop them as well when you're going for the Warhammer. So most people won't be in a situation where they're ever actively chasing these fangs. They just kind of rack them up. And the reason I want them is because of this item here. You can see I've got 2 in my inventory. And actually, good time for a practical demonstration. You get these talismans also from the chest. And when you get duplicates, you can dismantle for 100 more fangs, which is nice. But you charge these up with the fangs, and then you can use it to teleport to a bunch of different useful places around Karend. Which, you know, on a normal account, you just keep it in the bank, and you can charge it up with these fangs whenever you want. You don't even need the mounted one. But as you may or may not know, as an altered Iron Man, I cannot use the bank. So I really need to get the one that you mount in the player-owned house, and you can use it sort of like a jewellery box with infinite charges. But to do that, you need the talisman, which is a fairly common drop, and 5,000 of these fangs. So I have been training thieving and getting fangs from this chest. And the other reason I've been doing it, this particular method, because again, there are way, way, way better methods for both getting the fangs and for training thieving, is because I want to start stacking up medium clues for a bunch of different reasons. I've already got the bear slippers, so obviously I don't need ranger boots, as I've already got best in slot for most situations. But I still want a bunch of... I'd like to get a full vestment set. You can see I've got the robe top. So that'd be useful. I could really use, especially use the mitre, I think it is, because there's a stash unit that you can build that takes a mitre of any god and a rune crossbow and the ring of visibility from Desert Treasure. And that'd be really good because that would free up the rune crossbow slot in the looting bag when I'm not using it. So those are the main 2 things. But you can get all sorts of just like useful or collectibles from it. And because I'm building up the easy caskets as well, it sort of just seems like an opportunity to do a big clue opening. In part because I think there's a good chance I'll be dropping a lot of it. I don't even keep my main account with membership anymore, but I might, if I can accumulate enough, if I can get drops that are worth over the value of a bond, which I think is something like 10 million now, then it's going to be worth bonding up my other account just to get a lot of these drops. I mean, purple sweets, you know, are worth a shitload of money. 14k each, my god, I'm sitting on a gold mine with all of these unopened things. I've been collecting the Numalite. Well, I haven't been picking it up, but because I wear the Ring of Wealth, when I've been AFKing and killing the Ammonite crabs, the passive effect of the Ring of Wealth is it just picks up a lot of dropped it picks up dropped coins, but it also picks up coin-like objects or any other like form of currency that you get as drops, so they automatically go in my inventory. It's pretty worthless as well, but it's also easy to get a lot of it. And that adds up. So that stack that I got just from AFKing is worth 2 mil. I'm pretty sure the only value it has is it charges up the UIM version of the anti-dragonfire shield, but there might be other uses that I just don't know about. I've also been getting Onyx bolt tips from, they're a rarish drop from the chest. It drops all kinds of bolt tips. You can get all kinds of bolt tips as loot. I've been dropping most of them. The Dragonstone ones are worth alching because they alch for more than the cost of a nature room. But the Onyx ones, see, they alch for 2k, but they're worth 8.5k on the GE, and I've actually got quite a stack of them as well, yeah. So that's over a mil. So it's looking as though it's going to be worth bonding up the other account and taking some of the stuff off this one. I mean, I could just drop it, or I could find, I don't have any friends. These are all these 5 are anime characters, and then these 3 are my alts. So I don't have any friends, but I could always just, you know, discard it. I could do some fabulous drop party in the Grand Exchange, but you know, I would like to still retain ownership because I'm a greedy hoarder like that. And I still haven't totally given up on the main. I'd still like to, I think if I wanted to learn to do new content, well, not new content that's new for me, like get my first Infernal Cape and that sort of thing, I'd like to be able to practice on the main. So there are some advantages in keeping that with some wealth on it. And also, I guess it's just kind of interesting to see how much money I do get from this whole process. If you were just curious about the numbers. It's not even a good indicator for that, to be honest, because like I said, I've done so many different like mixtures of thieving. Like before I did my trip, I was doing a lot more of the Valamore thieving, so I can't even say for sure what loot you'd get from any one particular method, going between like 70 and 91. Anyway, so that's the plan, that's where I'm at. So in the next video I'll be able to see what I get from all of these reward caskets, see what the final Onyx Bolt stack ends up being worth, what the purple sweet stack is. I'm still on the fence about whether I'll probably keep the plate skirt for now. I might get rid of the carols, maybe. I've got the blessed d'hide. I could always just put the blessed d'hide into storage and keep the carols. I'm still deciding, but that's another thing I might be dropping over to the main, is the carols leather top, which I got from Barrows. So all that and more coming up in the next exciting video of the Ultimate Iron Man thing. This is just a quick update. Probably not going to spend hours and hours fiddling around with it in post. I'll give my team of editors a rest. It was more just to give an update on the channel, and to put something out there. Thanks for that, and I might see you in the next one.